And we're live! We're here with Fallout Vapor and
Spencer Clements.
Jason LaFay.
I've just gotten so bad at pronouncing names. It's
You remember me, don't you?
Clinton.
I'm back.
I'm back. Yes. Well, dude, so really quick, tell us a little bit about your shop.
So we opened February
17th.
17th,
2016.
2016,
Nice.
and me and him used to work together at a medical company, and he would always be outside vaping. And well, this was what, a year before that?
Yeah.
A year before that, and he always was vaping, and I would be outside smoking.
Nice.
And he would always try and get me to vape, and he's actually the one who got me to start vaping. So
There you go.
yeah, and we hit it
Nice.
really hard. We fell in deep to the vape
You got the
community.
bag.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you did you wing yourself off cigarettes? I mean,
Well,
doing that.
me personally, I quit for a week. I cold turkey with vaping, and then a week later I went to smoke a cigarette, and it was the nastiest thing I'd ever had. Because my sense of smell, taste, everything started to come back. So when I did smoke, it was no go. So I hadn't touched one since, and it's been coming up on 3 years now.
Yeah,
Since
that's freaking awesome.
your story.
End of May. Will be May 25th will be 5 years for me.
Dude, nice.
5 years since I've had a cigarette. I got 5 years ago there were no shops in town, so like
Yeah.
I had to do all my research online. I came across, I was digging through forum stuff, and somebody was like, "Go check out this guy's videos, Phil Basardo."
Yeah.
And
He's that
that
dude.
just opened the doors for everything. It was like that guy gets so detailed into his information about devices and everything. So I basically just took notes from his recommendations for what device to start with, what juice, what nicotine level based on my smoke. I was a pack a day for 20 years.
Damn, dude.
So and I'm coming up on 5 since I've had one. But so I ordered everything online, and it came on it was a Wednesday in the mail. So it was Wednesday evening after work. I cracked the box open, and from Wednesday until Saturday morning was the transition for me. So it was 3 days for me to walk away from 20 years.
Good lord.
But some people it's immediate, some people it takes longer, and we always we just let people know that, that it's going to be different for everyone. What we do is figure out how long they've been smoking, how much they smoke a day, and between, it's not just a retail job. It's like we fine tune what anyone needs to walk away from, to walk away from smoking if that's the goal. It's all those parts of the equation,
Yeah.
So get them on a solid device and the right nicotine level and some effort, behind it works.
Yeah.
So do you have the main client base you would say is people that are trying to get off cigarettes, or is it once they get off, they it turns into a whole new world for them, and they just sometimes it's they just switched and then they just start doing this instead. But some people, it's not as often, but some people walk in here with the intention of, I'm going to use this to quit smoking, and then I'm going to quit this too.
Right.
It's a lot easier to do than it is to quit smoking.
So they use that as a means to an end.
Right. Some people, that's the goal from the beginning.
Which our store is very unique. We get into the hobbyist side of it a lot. Like Derek, he started vaping 2 months ago now. 2.5 months. And he dived in big time. Yeah.
Dove in hard.
Yeah.
Dove in really hard.
He's got the nicest stuff you can get now.
Y'all do vape contests too, speaking of the hobby stuff.
Yes.
So how did y'all go from doing it as a hobby to doing it as your profession? How'd y'all go from medical field to vaping?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, his buddy, Hunter Knight, the owner of Fallout Vapor, opened his store in Clarksville, and he kind of was the guy to go to if you had any questions or anything. And then he came to us with a plan to franchise his business, and we were on board. We wanted our store. Me and him have both. Before this store was even talked about, everyone who we talked to it was vaping. I can't tell you how many people I got to quit smoking, switch to vaping before the vape shop. So I was like, I love doing this. Let's do it.
Yeah. it's cool to think like, I mean, a lot of people I guess would look at vaping and be like, dude, it's like your job is actually helping a lot of people's lives. I think that's really awesome. And from the outside in, just people are like, oh, vaping, they just, smell really good smoke or just see people like doing it and they don't, that's all they see. It's just skin deep. But like what y'all are doing is like legitimately changing people's lives for the better. I think that's freaking awesome.
And then there's the anti-vapors. And they're totally misinformed about everything they tell you. So go over that real quick, the ingredients.
So your main 5 ingredients in your vape juice, this is what you're intaking, is vegetable glycerin, propylene glycol, nicotine, flavoring, and then water. Which a lot of that stuff is used in all your daily things like vegetable glycerins and toothpaste. Propylene glycol, that is in your actual people who have asthma in their inhalers. And nicotine, which has been proven now that it's not so bad for you. It has about the same side effects as caffeine.
Similar physical reaction to it. In the negative ways and positive, actually. There's been all kinds of studies about, caffeine. With caffeine, it's your natural sources are always best. Like coffee, tea, things like that. And nicotine. So on the negative effects are it raises heart rate and things like that. But they've dug in over the last I don't know how many years and done studies on nicotine divorced from tobacco, because tobacco's got some 3,000 thousands of things in there. And they've been fine-tuning the chemistry of it for decades to make it as addictive as possible. So there's at least 3 other chemicals in there specifically to affect your reaction to nicotine, for you to absorb it faster, for your addiction to it to be stronger. So they've been doing tests on just nicotine in and of itself, and the health risks are so much lower. In vaping, just as an example, talking about the heart rate and how it affects your cardiovascular system. Like with smoking, it raises your heart rate for like 45 minutes or something after a cigarette. But you're dealing with other things too. Like you're dealing with oxygen deprivation and things like that. Like and it's a vascular constrictor. With nicotine, like in vaping, in the studies in comparison, you return to resting heart rate within minutes.
Oh, that's cool.
So yes, it has that effect, but not nearly on the level.
Well, it's like a lot of people they'll say eating meat and stuff like that. The casein protein is linked to people having heart attacks, but they don't look at other things that are also included in this. People that eat meat or whatever, it's just bad habits and stuff like that. But also cigarettes. I mean, dude, whenever you do a vape, whenever you take a hit off of that, you don't have to smoke an entire cigarette. You know what I mean?
Your average cigarette is 15 to 20 hits. And I find myself I don't hit this 15, 20 times when I go to vape. I mean, 3-4 times I set it down and I come back to it later. That's about it.
That's awesome though, man.
But talk about anti-vaping. So of those main ingredients and your vape juice, propylene glycol is one of them. Some of the anti-vapors out there have put out false articles the same thing in antifreeze is in vaping.
Oh my god.
But PG, propylene glycol, is in antifreeze to make it safe. It actually has been pumped in hospitals, restaurants since.
Oh, wow. The studies on PG go back to World War II. Actually, specifically inhaling it in aerosol form. Boost. We found that they boosted the immune system and things like that. So they started. I mean, he was in London, the doctor that was doing the studies on that. But he, as a result of that stuff, they would fly over London and just basically crop dust the city. But that's at first. Just because it would stem the spread of illness and stuff. And then they started doing what he said, where they eventually started pumping it through the air systems in hospitals and restaurants and stuff. They still do to some degree, I think. But
and then vegetable glycerin, he told me this, I forgot how long ago, but actually they've been testing that ever since they came out with fog machines, because all fog machines it's vegetable glycerin being heated up. That's what produces the vapor, the clouds you see. So they did testing at concerts to see if this was bad for you.
At concerts, they just tested?
Well,
I mean,
because everyone was going to concerts.
Going to concerts.
This was in the 80s. Because so everyone's going to the hair metal bands.
So it's this is bad for you.
Everybody's breathing this stuff. Let's do some studies.
But see that again, like people studying it at concerts. That's not the only thing they were inhaling that night. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of other agents there too. Man, it's nuts. People are crazy. But how did y'all franchised and that's
right.
Nice.
Right.
Dude, I wish, we'll get pictures of this and put it in the podcast, but dude, like the decorating here, like the freaking walls and stuff like that, you guys really created like a whole actual just like vibe to this room. Like it's a different place.
It's pretty cool when you when your family's a bunch of artists.
Yeah.
My dad.
His dad
just went to town on this place.
Yeah.
And basically Hunter, after seeing it, walked in and was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to do this all the stores now.
Dude, like this wall back here, just this wall looks freaking awesome.
This place just looked like a normal office building when we got here.
White walls,
we put
carpet, linoleum.
some bedazzle on it.
Dirtied it up a bit.
Yeah. That's the thing about this place now. Like if the floors get scratched up or anything like that, it kind of fits the theme of the place. I remember when his dad was building this place out, and his dad was working on some stuff a lot with the plaster, right? So I remember I was looking at some stuff he was doing, and I was like, I wasn't going to question him, but it didn't look so good until he gets it all done, and it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
The day you came in,
almost cried.
The day he started with the stain.
He
started applying the stain, and we walked in, and you were like,
oh, that's good.
His technique of like how he just held the stain gun up there, then just let it all drip down, which y'all see that later in the pictures. We're gonna get a bunch of pictures.
Yeah. Nice. What you guys?
So you'll sort of turn this into like an environment for people to come and hang out as well as purchase.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of guys who come in here who are in, say, halfway houses or just got out of rehab, and they consider this their bar, their hangout place.
Which is a lot, safer and healthier for their process than
an actual bar.
I was just talking to somebody this morning about that. Yeah, because when it comes to recovery groups and things like, it's kind of traditional that they've allowed them to like say lean on smoking to stay off whatever, and like the fact that they're in the know, the ones that run these groups, and they know about the health benefits of stuff doing this instead. Like they're able to dive into this at a 5% of the risk. So
that's freaking awesome,
dude.
Like I didn't even. I mean, I don't know. I never would have thought about it.
Yeah, I never would have thought that either.
Yeah, it's really cool.
There's a lot more to it than you think.
There really is, man.
And you mentioned the hangout, that's one, we were coming into town where there was already 4 other shops at the time, or 3.
You had, I think there was 4.
So we were
3.
We were a little bit nervous about what are we gonna, that's one of the main things we wanted to bring into town was the culture of this thing. Because, like you're talking about, you mentioned the events and the cloud comps and trick comps and just the atmosphere of what this became. There's almost always half a dozen people here at least just hanging out. That's just kind of what this became.
How'd y'all start doing the comps? Was that something that they were already doing before, or kind of?
That's something that was already going on. Around the country with vape shops and conventions and things like that. And actually, where we came in with was CKS. You're wearing
CKS.
Cloud Kicker Society. It's a social club thing. And Fallout was the first chapter in Tennessee with that. Cool. So, and that's typically that it's that whole thing. It's the cloud comps, trick comps things, where they're hosted. And we have the banners up on the wall for like measuring the cloud distance, things like that.
Yeah, so it's all about those events are about bringing the vape community together. Just having a good time.
Dude,
showing off some mods.
I saw some of those tricks, dude, and I think he's the year. Did he do that?
Yes.
Dude.
He can blow vape out of his ear. I don't recommend that.
No, that's not a good idea.
Disclaimer, if you're going to try it, you have to have a hole in your eardrum. I'm not saying try it at all, but don't do it. Let me handle it.
It's his trick. It's patent now.
I mean, I don't know. Is that something? Can we see it? Can you do it?
I can do it right now.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
I need somebody's vape.
Make sure that you can see this on camera.
Yeah, if you want to get in closer.
Get in closer. Josh, show everybody.
Kids, don't try this at home.
I'm actually legit stoked.
Please.
Oh my god.
This is happening.
Oh my god!
That's enough.
That's awesome. once in a while.
Dude, yes, that's freaking legit, man. How did you find out that you could do that?
Like, when I was growing up, before the age of 3, I had 4 ear surgeries. Had bad ears as a child, and then 4 more progressed. And the last one actually happened a year and a half ago, where they tried to cover up the holes. But the way it all started, I was 12 years old, and just came on with earaches all the time. We went to the pool, and I'd always go underwater, and then I noticed that I was like, burner.
Yeah.
And somebody tried to dunk me underwater one day. I stuck my ear up and just held my nose in my ear and started breathing through my ear.
What? Dude, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It's completely possible too. It's all
Holy
connected.
crap.
Should probably go back to the doctor.
Oh, if I'm in the water, that's happening. I'm fixing my ears. Best in the country. I'm finding somebody.
Hell yeah. Dude, that is pretty legit. So, like, does that mess with your hearing, though? Like, it
hurts them to do it.
Yeah.
Doctors told me that with holes in my ear, I have a minuscule hole in this hole and on the side, and then this one's significantly bigger. I'm gonna lose hearing in my right ear before the age of 55.
Dude, they're gonna come out with some kind of crazy medical.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm not taking any more ear surgeries because none of them have worked.
Dude,
I'm fine.
they've got like the dude that did my LASIK. There was a chick that was completely blind, and she can see stuff now, dude. So I'm just saying they gotta have something to fix those holes, dude.
There's always something.
But if nothing else, you got that freaking awesome trick. I've never seen
quite
that.
a bit.
Dude,
Quite a bit came out.
Did y'all ever watch like old Chris Farley movies?
Yeah.
Did you ever see whenever he'd always get mad and you need to get like angry at somebody one day and then just.
But I don't want to do it out both ears. Because then this one be as bad as this one. That's why I close it off.
That was pretty legit, dude. I've never seen that.
By the way, this is Vincent, the vaping magician, aka Shop Clown.
Shop Clown.
Yeah.
Very helpful guy. Kind of dumb, but I'm alright.
Nice. Yeah, he does help out. He's also one of our resident trick guys. That he's one of the ones from the drop. Right when we go, he and Brandon are 2 of the main guys that would always come in here and be like, "Can I turn the air off? Can I turn the fans off?" and practice. And our reaction to that over time changed. Like at first it was like, "Yeah, go," and then it was like.
Now everything's
10 minutes, you know, and it's like you gotta kick the door open, you gotta fan, you know.
It all started changing when people came up to the door and said, "Why is it so cloudy in here?"
Which a lot of like the younger group, like us, you know, they walk in the shop, they don't care. But sometimes you get an older, come in and they're like, "Ooh, this is too vapey."
Or they'll start coughing themselves.
So we got big fans out here trying to blow all the vape out.
Dude, that's nuts though, man. So like the vaping comp, what all tricks have you seen?
Okay, so we usually start off with a cloud comp. You know, see who can blow the biggest cloud. You judge it on density and how far it goes, and then we usually have 3 judges who do that. But there's regulations to it too. You have to have a certain kind of mod, a single 18650 tube mod, and can only build to a certain resistance. Can't go below that. But the trick comp, you see some pretty crazy tricks. What's the craziest trick I've seen besides that? My favorite one is when they do what's called a forced lasso. It's where you blow this big O, then you blow another one behind it, and you make it it looks like it absorbs and then goes around. Yeah. So that's my favorite trick.
I don't even know how they do those circles, dude. Like, how do you do that? What's the principle? Like, give me the.
It's a lot more. Just practice makes perfect with it. You know, these guys who can do all that stuff, they didn't just learn it overnight.
We've been at it for 2 years.
Right.
The first year was our trial run to see if we could actually do something.
Dude, but like all you got to do to win a comp is blow it out your ear.
No, I surprisingly didn't win that comp. I came in 3rd. There were some people that had way better tricks than I did.
Yes.
Can you shoot a ring out of your ear?
I'm working on it in the process, but as it goes right now, I'm not so.
It's a lot of bleeding ear and stuff.
Just do a ring with your ear and then blow a hole through it with your nose. You're done, dude.
We're trying to get them on American Idol.
I would vote.
No, America's Got Talent.
Oh.
If you could sing with your ear,
that too.
If you could sing with your ear, you can get American.
I'm gonna be his backup dancer. He's gonna do that while I dance.
He specializes in belly dances, but it's
I've seen that on YouTube, guys.
I hula hoop a lot.
Another 2.
I'm a really good hula hooper.
Dude. So all right, let me ask you this. So we worked out the other day.
Yes.
Did you work out whenever you were smoking? Have you been?
Yeah, funny that you say that. I meant to bring this up earlier. You know how he was talking about how smoking cigarettes affects your vascular system. You shouldn't work out like you just wait 45 minutes to go in there. It messes with you. This, what is it, like a couple minutes and then you're back to normal. So I can vape and then go work out and it'd be fine.
I don't notice like anything. Smoking and running. I'm like, what the hell are you doing to yourself? Getting in that 5K. But do you feel like you notice a difference, like you know, from cigarettes to not? Like, do you do cardio?
Breathing wise, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, your lungs got such a fast healing rate. Like, there's like a graph you can look at from when you stop smoking cigarettes. But it's just like within minutes it starts healing, and you'll start noticing a difference within 48 hours.
Really?
Without a cigarette, yes.
That's what a lot of people like to get wrong about vaping too. Is if you're quitting from smoking to vaping, and then they'll try it for about 3 days, and then they'll come in here and complain that their throat is hurting and they're coughing a lot. It's because it's healing your lungs. You're coughing up that residue that's been building up ever since you've been smoking cigarettes, and eventually it'll all be out. You'll breathe better. This will stop hurting you less. You'll get flavor.
What he was talking about is smoker's flu.
That's what I was going to say.
And I actually got it pretty bad too when I first started vaping.
I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. And we learned out that it does exist.
Yeah.
So when you smoke for so long and then quit, you're going to feel bad for the first week because your body's going to be healing itself. Like you said, you have these little particles in your lungs, cilia. You've heard of cilia. When you smoke, it numbs all those particles. So when you quit smoking, they start waking up and tearing all that stuff out of there, start cleaning your lungs again. That's cool. So you cough up stuff for however long, which I dealt with that a lot. You know,
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like
last.
That was about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
And I remember you were really, you were diligent about it. You were you were really concerned that it was this.
Right.
So you started researching it, and it was like, no, that happens when people quit smoking. Because your physical reaction to picking up vaping, your body's still responding as if you quit smoking. So it starts doing all the stuff it needs to do.
Kind of, but in a
right,
beneficial
like
way.
your sense of taste and smell come back with the first couple days, but then eventually, your lungs start kicking up, awake and cleaning all that tar buildup and just all that crap.
Lucky, I never went through any of that.
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
Some people are luckier than others.
I don't know why, but when I first quit smoking, it felt like I had the flu. I felt terrible. And the thing is, I smoked for 3.5 years. So I didn't smoke that long either, but I was a pretty heavy smoker. I mean, I was a pack a day, and on weekends I'd usually do 2 packs. And go out with some buddies or something. Now I don't have time to go out anymore. We're here 24/7. We never clock out. We're always working. There's always. If we aren't here, we're getting messages, trying to help people out. Right. It is a constant grind.
Yeah, I know, like, since, how long have you been coming here, man?
2.5 months, right?
And before that, how many packs are you smoking a day?
I don't even want to say.
There's a lot.
About a pack and a half since I was 14.
Yeah.
Derek was the perfect customer, though. Like, he walked in 2.5 months ago. I remember I greeted him, and he just kind of like looked at me. He looked around. He said, I'm trying to quit smoking. I showed him like the starter stuff, and then Derek was like, "Oh, I want the best." I said, "Okay, I got you." I walked him over, so he got a good. And then the next day, Derek walks back up in here, and he just got this. He just looks happy. He's like, "I love this."
Oh yeah.
So here we are now. 10 months later.
God.
But that is the coolest freaking thing. When we have people, that old guy. I wish I could. The guy that was a bus driver for Dickson County for years.
Who comes in here and gives us updates.
He quit. He did exactly what we were talking about, where he came in here to get a vape to quit smoking. He knew somebody that was doing that, so he wanted to give it a shot. But he knew right from the beginning, I'm going to do this and I'm going to walk right out of this. And he hasn't even vaped in over a year. And he still comes in here just to come say hi.
That's really awesome.
Like he hasn't smoked or vaped, in over a year. And he just pops in just to come say hi.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like with you guys, like your work is literally changing people's lives for the best. So
we love it.
That stuff is awesome.
That's why we don't mind not clocking out. We love what we do. It's awesome.
Yep. I mean, I heard that, like, if you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
Kind of get like, dude. And plus, I mean, you guys also get to work on your craft of whooping people in UFC.
Yeah, I'm really good at video games now.
Smoked in it.
We get a lot of downtime.
Fallout Vapor.
Yeah, I got that game from him. I got it from him.
Have y'all got Dana White in there yet? Have y'all downloaded Dana White?
I think Dana White just got downloaded into it.
I need to go in there and put a couple punches in his face.
I'll tell you what.
I'll be Dana White and you just punch my face.
That's okay.
I hate that game. I brought it here thinking, greatest.
Thought you were so good at game.
God's gift to this game.
Yeah, and I was like, who wants to play?
Bitches.
He was like, I'm good at this game. I'll try and take it easy on you. Within like 3 games, we found somebody who was just naturally good at it. Whipped him every time. He just put the controller down and said, y'all can go ahead and I'm not playing anymore.
That's a lot. We have a lot of tournaments and stuff like that in video games up here.
That's freaking awesome.
We get hyped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then.
I think we've almost had a fight over a video game before.
More than once. Way more than once.
Yeah.
The main one before we got the...
But usually like 5 minutes after, like if they like argue at each other or whatever, it's like they hug it out.
Yeah.
We're all a big family. Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, this isn't even the worst game. Before we got UFC, it was PlayStation All-Stars, and that used to
That was that game.
Fight and argue.
And I am hands down the best player.
Oh, you wish you were the best player. I am hands down the best player.
I will boot it up right now.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It is literally
right there. Yeah, we have 2 gaming systems, which it got moved back here because we thought All-Star PlayStation Battle Royale, that game consists of, I know we're kind of off topic, but all your PlayStation characters like Nathan Drake, Big Daddy, Kratos, Zeus,
Sly, right?
It's like Super Smash Bros, but the PlayStation version of it in a way.
That's freaking awesome.
We take it very serious.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back here and just get into it, dude.
A lot of people, they don't understand the seriousness.
I got beat by Spencer once, and I swear I gave him a weak silent treatment.
Yeah.
He just threw it in my face.
Yeah, we're all sore winners and sore losers.
Yeah.
It's horrible, man.
Yeah.
All Stars changed my life.
We even, there's a local shop in town called Gamer's Edge. It's where they have probably 20 Xbox Ones, 20 PlayStation 4s. So we went up there and they hosted a tournament for it one time.
Yeah.
So we all went up there and it was teams. We were doing 2v2s. And then me and Vincent couldn't be on teams together because we were the best 2. I ended up losing in the tournament.
And so did I.
That's how serious it is. We went up there and we had a legit
Was
tournament.
that the day that you called up here and like Simon was working with me and you were like, can Simon come play?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we were going to be on teams. We thought there was going to be a bigger turnout. And then everybody we called, they were like, you and Vincent going to be on team? We're like, yeah. And then like the first 4 people, they hung up. They were like, no, we're not playing. We're not going up there just so we can lose. And we're like, okay, we'll draw out of a hat.
So the guy who I called, Simon, our employee at the time, comes up there and he wins.
With my little brother.
He's fired now.
Yeah.
No,
He's gone unemployment.
he's gone.
He'll still throw it in our face from time to time.
And how about his day? He got to leave work
and go make
and go
$100.
play video games and then come back.
Yeah, because the winner got $100.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, dude.
His brother was the other one because it was Simon and Nathan, his younger brother.
I went to the finals.
Yeah.
I went to the finals.
Serious.
I didn't talk to him for a week either.
Yeah.
Simon moved on in the workforce. He works construction now, so he moved on bigger, better things. He still comes in here all the time.
Yeah. I miss that guy. I hug him every time he comes in. I'm like, Simon!
He's a goofball. It seems like we only hire goofballs here, in a way.
Yeah. Is it like a prerequisite in the interview? You've got to be like at least laugh a few times.
Yep.
Right.
That's a good way to do it.
You know,
we usually open with a joke.
And getting a job at a vape shop, you know, it's not like you come in and turn a resume in, we hire you. It's more you got to kind of learn your stuff and hang out here and really learn how we run things, and that's when you get brought on to the team.
Yeah, and that's largely to do with what I was saying before about like it's not just a retail job. You know, you need to know how to walk someone through.
I mean, one of
the process.
One of the main reasons why they even thought of me as a consideration for working here is whenever I first started coming out, I had my own mod. I found this vape shop. I was like, wow, I love this vape shop. I love the people that come in here. I know almost everybody in Dickson. They happen to come here.
Yeah.
Well, then I would go from a box, and then I came in and talked to Spencer one day. I was like, so what is the difference between this box and a mech? And then he taught me. He was like, you build lower on it, you re-wick the cotton, change out the coils, make sure your batteries are stable and stuff like that. And then I just decided to learn from there and bought me a kit and a mag mod and an RDA, and it just kept on skyrocketing from there until eventually he was like, come work a Sunday with me.
Yeah,
come work a Sunday with me. I was the Sunday guy, so I would come in on Sundays, and anybody would come in needing a build, I'd build for them. I'd sell juice to them.
Too.
Right, which that's the hobbyist side of it, of building your own coils, because your typical vape, you know, you get someone set up on a tank.
Yeah.
And it's a pre-built coil. You screw it in there, put it together. That's it. With this, you know, we're using it's what you call an RDA, a dripper.
What's RDA stand for? Is it
a rebuildable dripping atomizer? Yeah.
So like, what's the main difference?
So like he said, you got an RTA, which is a rebuildable tank atomizer. So you can have a tank. And the difference is, like, tanks are really good for, say, our truck driver people, customers who come in here trying to quit smoking because they can't drip and drive. It's kind of hard. So you just have a tank. And you fill up a tank, it lasts you 3-4 hours. You know, so when they stop to get gas, whatever, they refill their tank. Hit the road. And like when I go on vacation, I use a tank. But if I'm just hanging out in the shop, I use an RDA.
So then in this one, you actually legit just drip the juice straight in.
You just pop that cap, which is juiced up right now. I mean, every 10 to 15 hits, it's about time to juice it up. You know?
So did you actually build, like, put the cotton in there and everything on that?
Yes. Actually, I didn't build these coils. Local builder who we buy coils from him, he built these, which he's awesome.
That's cool.
Singer Fam coils, right?
Yeah.
Singer Fam coils.
And he's like Singer Dickson.
Yes, and he is
awesome. He's crazy good at it.
It's crazy coil builds, man. They're nice.
Dude, that's awesome.
More than I can do. You know, it's not your standard. Like, it's simple. You can come in here and wrap up just a normal set of coils, but he goes really in depth.
What do you like? What are the coils made out of? I mean, it's
wire. So you have Kanthal, nichrome, stainless steel.
Those are the most common.
Right, those are the most common wires that you use to build with. And then you have to know, when it comes to building, you have to know your resistances of each wire per foot. Right.
Well, the resistance of it, meaning like the heat they can handle, or like
the ohms of the coils, you know.
All right, so I don't know if this is a sore subject, but because I know that, like, in the early days of like vaping and stuff, a lot of them were like blowing up and stuff like that. Is that just from like inexperience of people trying to build their own mods and stuff, or like what was that?
Good question. Well, like this store, for instance, we don't sell clone mods. The vaping industry, everything gets cloned now. So you get a clone mod and it doesn't have the right insulator in it, something like that.
They got the cheap route on parts.
Right.
The metals they chose to use.
So it's like there's a name brand and like somebody off brands it.
Yes, 100%. And then you have like your regulated stuff that I'm talking about, like your tank, stuff like that. It's more likely for an iPhone to blow up in your pocket than that.
Every single story I've ever read, you know, has always come down to, I mean, it's a joke you say about just user error, you know, but like, that's literally what it's been every story I've read, and it's about battery safety. These are not double A's. These are the ones they use in power tools. They use them in power tools. They use them in like, you know, like drones and you know, RC vehicles and things like that. Like they're so.
Are they lithium? Like
lithium?
So you don't want to do things like store them in your car in the middle of summer when it's 100 degrees. You know, like exactly. Not a good idea.
I've had women come in here and say their battery blew up in their purse. And then I hand them a battery case because it was just freely in their purse. Because if say their keys touch the negative side and positive side, it could short out, which is very unlikely for a battery to go into thermal runaway and blow up, you know. But like we've seen it happen one time in our whole vaping career.
What happened?
Well, what happened there was someone was using an unregulated mod and was running a tank on it, which tanks are meant to be ran on regulated devices because their insulators aren't meant to be. When you're running unregulated and it was a hybrid, he's literally pressing that battery. He's pressing a button on the bottom. It's hitting the battery and it's making contact with the atomizer. And the insulator on that, they aren't built for that, and it ended up pushing that pin up in there. The battery did, and it touched the metal ring around
the whole time.
Right. So then it shorted out, which that is very, very unlikely. Which that's why you have guys like us who have to. It's our job to inform you what to do and what not to do.
If someone even thinks about coming into that, what the hobbyist end of it, the stuff where you get out of the, you tend to be stepping away from regulated devices that have chips in there that will protect you from making mistakes and stuff. It's you need to know battery safety. He was talking about the resistance of wire, like, and I mean, you can use, there's apps, there's free apps on iOS, Android, everything, but, and so you want it, you need to know the what these coils are going to ask of the battery, and that battery can handle that output. Because if you stress the battery too much, that's where they get unstable. So that's what it comes down to.
It, man. Like
my mind is blown right now. I'm just like I haven't said much because I'm like absorbing all of this information. I'm like, wow, there's like tons of stuff that go into this that I never knew about.
It takes a while to get it all.
Another big thing is battery wrap. So your batteries, these lithium-ion batteries, they
just freaking look cool too.
Yeah, it's just PVC wrapping on them, and they get nicks in them over time, and it's time to rewrap your batteries. Which we rewrap batteries here for people. Like sometimes we'll do free battery rewrap day, to where like when we first came to Dickson, when people would walk in here, I would grab their mod and pull their batteries out and look at them, because there's clone batteries out there too. And I'd look at them, and the battery. I have taken a mod out from someone's hand before, pulled the battery out, and there not be a wrap on it. And that is very dangerous, So I'll wrap it for them, inform them. We had to do a lot of work.
After the number of people, like you said, he had people coming to him, friends coming to him before we opened the shop, before we were even talking about it, coming to him once they knew he started vaping. And had been doing it for a minute. They were all coming to him with problems and questions and things. So we knew from the number of friends that he had that are local, and how many of them had come to him about like their batteries and things like that. Some of the stuff I said we knew we were bringing to Dickson, we knew we needed to address battery safety issues, because it was rampant in this. All kinds of people they didn't even know, or they weren't told, or they didn't do research themselves, or
So the battery wrapping, like, what does that do for the battery actually? Is it just keep it cool down?
Just covering the metal. The majority of the battery is the negative, and then there's just a little bit at the top, the lip, that's the positive. So what you don't want is exposed metal on both, because you just contact that with metal, and it's going to short the battery. So so it's just it's a simple plastic, or just a sleeve that we just shrink wrap onto them. It takes 2 minutes.
We charge $1.
$1 battery.
That's good to know. It's not going to explode.
Right, and a lot of people come in and they like the color match batteries. Get cool, like translucent blue or rainbow, or
sometimes it's just to customize.
Well, that's cool.
Ties the mod together.
Like a safety background. What do you got there? Like, what is that? Looks like a freaking iPod.
Those.
It's my shovel.
He's smoking an iPod shovel.
That's somewhat what we call a closed system. It takes a pod system, which those have gotten really popular here lately. They're really good for people who are just coming off smoking. That's a good first vape for you to have. And actually, in those systems, they're using a different type of nicotine, because this nicotine is derived from a tobacco plant. That is a more pure crystallized form of nicotine, and they call it a salt nicotine. So you can actually do a higher nicotine level, and it not hit you as hard. Like it's real smooth.
Is it like, I mean, there's no, so the juice and stuff like that, there's nothing like that in there? Or?
No, there is. Yeah, those are refillable. So that's why I said somewhat closed pod system.
Fill it.
It's like an old,
that's it.
And stick it
about
right back on there.
About once a week,
that's nice.
Week 2 weeks, you come in, get a new pod. That's it.
This is another version of that same kind of thing, and this is a completely closed system. Like just that thing, you don't even fill it yourself.
It's already pre-filled.
And like, is the battery on the long part?
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
you just buy new little things you put on there?
That's it.
Yeah.
Cartridges.
This is the mech that I was talking.
That's unregulated.
That is unregulated.
Well, so like, how much is something like that in comparison to like the hobbyist type ones? Like, what yours? Like, What's the price difference, would you say?
I'd say the range between the
big difference.
Air, the Air and the Drop, which is very similar, same company, just different shape or whatever, and then this. They're all in the 30 to 40.
30 to 40, and then you're talking that right there,
I think
$250.
Yeah, 200.
Yeah. 250, not $2.
But also with time, you come to want to participate in the hobbyist side if you can, if you can afford it. I mean, the hobbyist ones are nice, but if you have somebody come in here and they're just looking to quit money, they're not going to look at the hobbyist side. They're going to come in here and get their traditional tank in their box and run it.
We wouldn't set just someone who came in here first started vaping on something
work these
like
coils.
that. Right.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Even now.
A lot of times, say someone comes in and they get a regulated device where you can control the wattage. Before we move them to something like that, we'll put an RDA on that, let them learn how to build on something regulated that nothing can really mess up on compared to that. Then in the future,
and when somebody buys a mech mod, usually if they know what they're doing, we still help them. We need to make sure they know what they're doing. So no injuries occur, nothing like that. Because I've had somebody walk up who was running just a plain simple starter kit, little tube battery with the tank on top of the button, like straight up starter kit, come over to the mech mods and say, I want to get one of those. And I had to look at him and I had to go, sir, do you know what that is?
pump the brakes.
I understand if you want something a little better, but we're going into uncharted territory for you. You've dealt with the basics on basic. So you need to go from basic to intermediate.
And a lot of people that don't know, they're holding a stick battery and they come down to these and it's just like, oh, this looks like a nicer version of like a metal, it's like, no, totally different beast.
So what's the big difference between if beginner and the advanced, why is that so advanced, you know what I'm saying?
Regulated, unregulated. More or less. So with that mod, for instance,
you're going straight to the battery.
Right, and whatever you build on that controls the output of it. On regulated, you control it.
It's essentially
itself.
all it is.
Oh damn!
We could say if he were to throw that RDA that he has right in his hand back on the tube mod, it's throwing the entire power of a fully charged battery up at the top, and then depending on the resistance on top, it can give you a strong hit to a weak hit depending on the range. But then let's say we pop his RDA on a box mod with a chip set in it with 2 batteries that has a good safety system. He can bump it up wattage, make it hit harder, make it hit less.
And another...
So that one gives you more control or less control over how much you're pulling on it?
Well,
it is more control because you can do you can build it to be whatever you want.
So the longer you're holding the button, the more
right. And that's actually when we were talking about the events and how there's the requirements, the regulations for the events. It's a lot to do with that. It's setting them the lowest that we allow somebody to safely build their coils to where it'll. It vapes hot. It vapes nice. So they can pull vapor just like that for the clouds, for the tricks or whatever. But the standard that we set is so that they don't go into dangerous level.
And regulated, say he goes to fire those coils on a regulated box. If that box doesn't fire below 0.1, it won't even fire those coils because he's running a 0.09, 0.08. Whatever you put on that mod, it will fire it.
Yeah.
On a regulated, if you throw something too low on there, resistance-wise, that's in the danger zone, it won't fire it. So that's what makes regulated so safe.
That's why and when it gets into the unregulated, that's why we require, making sure that whoever's even looking at that stuff knows.
Check your resistance.
It's on them to be, to be safe.
And a lot of boxes have a safety feature built into them where if you hold it for more than 10 seconds, it'll cut itself off and won't fire anymore. You try and hold the button down on that mech mod that he has, it'll keep firing and firing and firing.
So
and firing.
for trick comps and stuff like that, you're gonna be able to do the bigger.
Right.
Right. You want a hotter build.
Yeah.
The main reason why anyone bothers to get into the RDA stuff, the rebuilding the coils and everything, it's basically the best flavor you can get. But but you also have full control. It's like getting under the hood. You have it's more hands-on. So there's more work to there's more fiddling and work to do and everything. But we kind of make the effort, kind of go through the trouble because of the flavor and having that control to be able to have it vape the way you want it to.
And it's really cool. All the technology behind this. I think we missed that talking about when he first, started vaping. He really dug into the technology side of it and everything.
Yeah.
That was the main draw for me, honestly. Completely honest. I've just always liked tech stuff, so I was like, ooh, there's an electronic version of this thing I've been doing for 20 years. I'm going to just check it out. It was just because I was like, it's a gadget, you know? And then I just accidentally quit smoking. In like 3 days, it was like, okay, that happened.
Good side effect of being curious about stuff.
And I mean, of course, I had, you know, when I started looking into it all together, I started seeing the stuff about the health benefits. So, I mean, it's not, I didn't like, I knew about that already, but like, that was not the initial draw. I was like, there's like an electronic version of this. I just gotta check it out.
Yeah, dude, I was like, whenever I was a kid, I was the dude that was always like taking stuff apart. My parents would come and be like, what the hell did you do to the remote? And I'm like, I don't know how to put it back together. Like, freaking just taking apart everything in the house. So like, Clinton, he called me whenever he first got one of those mods and he was like building a cool for the comp. And I was like, dude, that sounds freaking awesome. So you're like, I think you're
I ended up chickening out of doing the comp.
You should have, man. It's a blast.
That's the only reason I bought it. Jacob taught me to buy this one, actually.
You will be in the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be fun.
I was talking about like price ranges. I mean, they can go as far as you want to spend.
$1,000, $2,000 for a mod.
Or you can go as low as,
$30, $40.
We can spend $100 in there and get you a nice setup.
Right.
Beginner setup, and you have everything you need and some.
You know, you have your initial purchase like that. Someone who's coming in who, like Derek, the first time he come in, he probably spent $120, $130 on a setup. That's juice and everything.
Yeah.
And then after that, he comes in and buys a bottle of juice. This is a 100 ml bottle, $30 to $35.
Yeah.
And it lasts you a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it's about the same price difference as, you know, a pack a day smoker.
Well, if you're on a tank or something, it lasted me a lot longer when I was on a tank. Like I could run off for like 3 weeks, but now I'm going through one.
We go through a lot of juice.
4 days.
We make jokes. First of all, I absolutely. No one vapes more than a vape shop owner. I'm telling you this right now. I could not maintain my level of vaping if I didn't own a shop. And you guys it is a chicken and the egg kind of thing. I vape more because I'm in a vape shop and because I, so maybe that's where it came from. But
talking about vaping in a vape shop, the first event like Cloud Comp I ever went to was in Clarksville at the Fallout Vapor in Clarksville, and I remember I was in there and I vaped so much I had to step outside and be like, ooh, I got a little bit of nicotine rush going here. I'm gonna step outside, grab a water.
God, dude, that I remember whenever in high school, man, me and Dustin snuck in and grabbed some of his dad's cigars. Dude. Just get those nicotine things. That's 15 maybe.
Oh yeah.
I was talking about water. That's one of the biggest side effects that I've seen. That just hearing y'all talk about was the dehydration.
Dehydration, right? Sure. I remember you were big adamant on that.
Yeah, just that. If you stay hydrated, I notice nothing really.
Yeah,
I feel better.
So as far as side effects that compared to smoking, cigarettes, there's not really much to worry about. If somebody wants to start doing it, do you have to warn them of anything?
Well, everything in it's food grade. Everything's FDA approved, and they was talking about vegetable glycerin. That's all derived from what was it? Olive oil and stuff like it. Just actual.
Yes, so that's already good.
Vegetable glycerin. You can go to the grocery store and buy it in the baking aisle.
That's pretty good.
So there's nothing really bad about it.
Well, I would definitely say that doing nothing is the healthiest route, but we always have to tell people, remember, we're comparing this to smoking. So that's why people come in here, or I have friends talk to me all the time and say, I want to buy a vape. First question I ask them is, well, do you smoke? If they say no, I'm like, well, if you ever have the urge to smoke, come buy a vape. Yeah. Other than that, there's no need to vape,
Yeah. So it's pretty much just this is the way better, healthier alternative to smoking. And you feel like it's do you feel like it's easier to come off of cigarettes? You feel like it's more attractive vaping and stuff? For you, were you whenever you were vaping, was it more instead of looking at it I want a cigarette, I want to vape now? Do you feel like it was easier for you to go like that?
Oh yeah, to quit smoking with vaping? Yes, for sure. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, I remember back when I first started vaping, I'd really try and motivate my friends to put a vape in their hand.
Yeah.
But when you put a vape in their hand, it doesn't work. Yeah. They had to come in and do it on their own time and have their own willpower to quit. You know, which just definitely helps.
Yeah,
definitely is. And talking about the main study, talking about this being better, you know, better alternative than smoking. The Royal College of Physicians did a study about a year ago.
Well, it was. It was a little over a year.
Yeah,
but, it was actually it was a whole bunch of stuff. They released that report.
Right.
They had all the medical universities all over the UK do a whole bunch of studies.
Yeah.
And the results, the report that they put out was.
It was 95.
Their audience is doctors. In fact, their audience is. They have been the leading medical research group since the 1500s.
Good Lord, dude.
For real. They're the ones that said smoking's bad for us 10 years before our own Surgeon General did.
Yeah.
But they released that report, and their audience is doctors, so they just said, this is 95 to 98% safer than smoking.
Dude,
don't hesitate to put your patients on it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
A common myth too you hear a lot is the popcorn lung.
Yeah. Oh, that's That one's funny. There's been memes.
I don't know how to pronounce the word. It starts with a B.
The chemical?
No, it was a chemical, like they was making this juice overseas, and they was putting that chemical in, and the factory workers that were actually packaging the juice itself was around the crude version of that chemical all day long, and they got diagnosed with something. They got paid a settlement, but that was the only confirmed case of anything like that I was reading on.
Right. Yeah.
And they actually outlawed that chemical, and everything's really.
Right. It might be,
big Diet Tail.
It's the one that the popcorn lung, the study that we know about, or the report that they put out. No, it was a study. It was diacetyl, and it's the butter. It gives you that butter taste. And I'm gonna let you. You need to give
all your vape juices. Diacetyl really carries flavor. All of your vape juices have. I wouldn't say all of them, but a lot of your custard, desserty flavors will have it in it. Which the FDA regulation on that, don't quote me, I think it's 2% or lower, and it's considered diacetyl free.
Yeah.
But the vaping industry took it even lower and said if it's 1% or lower, you can say diacetyl. But so the major factor to all this is that smoking has 750 times your diacetyl in your daily intake compared to vaping. And no one's ever gotten popcorn lung from smoking. Which they just not recently, but about a year ago, they put out this, I saw it on Channel 4 News. They did they did a thing. It was like the alternative to smoking could potentially cause popcorn lung. I didn't watch the documentary, but my mom did, and they actually went back on cases where smoking could potentially cause it, like someone who got diagnosed with COPD. They're like, could that have been diagnosed wrong and that been popcorn lung? And it came back
similar symptoms.
It came back. It was like, nope, it's COPD. And so no one's even gotten popcorn lung from smoking. The only people who've ever gotten popcorn lung are people who work in popcorn factories for 20 plus years. You know. So getting popcorn lung from vaping is kind of a myth.
And unfortunately, the damage that was done for why so many people walk in here and ask us that is, I don't know how many news outlets around the country just pulled that story off the AP and spit it out there and just didn't even look into it themselves. The actual study that everyone was pointing to saying this can happen, those are the numbers we're pulling. This isn't like, oh no, that study was done bad, we do a new one and get better results. No, the one that everybody was talking about is the one that says a pack of cigarettes, daily intake compared to 10 milliliters of juice in vaping, daily use. This pack of cigarettes had 750 times more diacetyl in it. So the story, all of them telling the story didn't even read what they were regurgitating out.
Yeah, they learned from the headlines pretty much.
Right. Sometimes it's accidental, sometimes that's negligence on in that regard. But there are also stories out there. I mean, there's major financial interests in seeing this go away. It's primarily the pharmaceutical companies. Most people think it's tobacco companies, because. Be told, and yes, they're not friends, but they've kind of been a useful enemy sometimes. They've actually gone to bat for some of these bills in DC to keep this around. Because I mean, If they didn't think it was going to stick around, they wouldn't have gone and bought all the cigarette companies and distributors, and things like that, like setting up their own system for this.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they have the opportunity to put out a product that's like safer than their old one.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if they didn't even bother to put in the effort, and they just put something out that's whatever, and it doesn't work, those people are just going to fall back to their old product, and they didn't lose a customer. Who's really looking to shut this down is the pharmaceutical companies. They spend 100 times more lobbying dollars than the tobacco companies to shut this down. Yeah, they're the ones that own, they're the ones that have all the gum and the patches, and I mean that stuff works for some people, but there's like something like an 80% failure rate. A big part of that is it doesn't repeat the behavior.
Exactly.
The feeling something hit.
Yeah, it's like a
habit of feeling
it's a huge part of it. Yeah.
My granddad smoked for a long time, and he actually got on the e-cigs like a long time ago. And I mean, he's quit smoking and stuff, and that's what he told me that he kept going back to because he had to find one that felt like a real cigarette to actually quit.
Back in the day, one method people would, and I tried this too, just having a straw in your mouth all the time, which that ended up not working for me. I still smoke. My girlfriend
smoking, he just got rid of all of his lighters and kept a pack of cigarettes. He would just hold an unlit cigarette in his mouth just constantly. He'd flick it and everything. He just didn't have a lighter, but he just was addicted to that motion after 35 years of smoking.
See, here's the cool thing. The vaping version of that, of having something, even the people that come in here and they're like, I'm going to do this to quit, and then I'm going to quit vaping. We tell them every time, that's awesome, we want progress reports. We tell them anytime somebody's getting started, we're like, come tell us how you're doing. If there's something we need to figure out. But the ones that we will, but the ones that their intention is to even quit vaping, we tell them, awesome, hang on to the device, hang on to some 0 milligram, no nicotine flame, and just throw that stuff in a drawer. You hit that stress point. I don't know how many people come back in here and it's like, or come in here and are like, I'm smoking. I used to smoke. I quit, but then I started back, and it's almost always a stress trigger. Something major happened, and they started smoking again. So when we get them, if they're trying to quit vaping, even we just like put it in a drawer, because if you hit that moment, you pull that thing out and load it up with your juice, you're not even reintroducing nicotine to your system. It's you're repeating behavior without losing ground on the progress you make.
That's awesome.
That's something you can't, there's not really a version of that with smoking. Other than if somebody's got the willpower to do that, that's dangerous. I couldn't do that. I could not do that.
That was before, that was like, let's see, 2005-ish.
Which that's when vaping really, like the blue e-cig started coming out.
He had one of them, and they just like,
technology.
I'm not going to replace it. He's just trying to. He was trying to kick it.
Who's that actor in the blue e-cigarette?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Who was that?
But
it's been too long.
He played in the movie Blade.
Yes.
Stephen.
He was a bad guy in Blade. It's an old movie.
I can see his last name.
Tyler?
I know who.
I think he was like, I can't remember.
2,000 babies won't get this.
Stephen Dorff. Stephen Dorff.
That's it.
Gryffindor. Dude.
So like as far as juices go, there's like just millions of.
Yes. And the funny thing is about that is I'm telling you, we get probably 5 or 6 samples a week. Like companies will send us juice. You'd be surprised at how many juices that are out there that they don't taste very good. Like we only pick up like premium, nice juices.
There's a process.
Me and him will get them, we'll test them, and then we'll have our regular guys try them out, see what they think before we ever bring anything in the store.
Most of the times it's they hit it and they run it for a while and they're like, dude, this is awesome, try this, and I'll try, I'll be like, I mean, it's good. Everybody has their preferences. Me, I'm more of I like the harsh menthol fruity. I used to like desserty, then I kind of did that too much, and now I'm just straight on fruity. They can do whatever. I've seen them flop back and forth from a mango cotton candy to a deep fried Oreo the next day. I mean,
they got deep fried Oreo?
It's really good too.
What are some of the other like flavors because a lot of people
What's
are
the
like,
weirdest ones?
I was gonna say.
We've
got salted pretzel in here before.
That was
pretty awesome.
Cheese or without
but it
cheese?
wasn't too bad.
I liked it.
Does it have the toppings?
It was just salted.
There is
You have
savor.
two, so you take the salted
We've
and
never
you
bought
take the
any in
cheese.
here.
Or like mustard? Is there mustard?
I don't know. The
I
craziest
don't
one I've
want to. I don't even
ever
want
heard
to
of.
try it.
Yeah.
The craziest one I've ever heard of, which we've never. It's a juice company in Maine. They make a crab juice.
Crab juice?
That makes sense.
Dude,
I remember
I
Phil
don't know.
Sardo talking about it, and like they would have challenges with each other who could hit it more times.
You
in a
start
row.
coming up with random shit like freaking spicy chicken, tomato, and lettuce.
There's a reason for that.
What is
There's a
she
reason for
want?
that.
Spicy chicken in there.
Like
Five-course
savory
meal.
chicken.
That's the
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that as an option.
Gravy.
I would say the weirdest flavor we have that we sell, that sounds the weirdest, it's a cucumber pear mojito.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty good.
So there's a little
But-
mint. There's a little mint in it. I mean, it's
But
a
it's
drink.
really good.
You know, it's
Yeah,
mojito
it is
drink.
Wouldn't you say that's the weirdest
Yeah,
one we
we
got?
have nothing else like
Well,
it.
Yeah.
The flavor profile, it's like sometimes it's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's a light, clean, fresh flavor that's just a little bit of mint to it. You
Yeah.
know?
Do y'all have a lot of people that buy that one, or is it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That one is a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
That's such a random flavor too.
The
man.
weirdest
I
one for
think
me is
crab.
pineapple cake pop.
You know, like
Pineapple
I've
cake
never
pop.
had a pineapple cake pop in my life.
Cake flavors, what? Cake flavors are really
Making us
popular.
pineapple cake.
Yeah.
Like I said, preference.
My favorite flavor though is it's a peach apricot smoothie. That would be my hands down favorite. Like if I had to go my life with just one
Desert
juice,
Island,
I pick
you're
that
on it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that all the time. That's
And
funny.
that
Desert
one
Island.
has been one of our top sellers.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I got him to get it.
You're doing like, what is it, strawberry mint or something like that?
Triple X
Yes.
and chill. I love it.
Yeah, he is in love with that.
And whenever he told me about it, I was like,
Who's
it
this
kind of
guy?
sounds kind of gross.
It's
And
got a
that's one
funny
of those, like,
name.
It
it's
sounded
not
awful.
Yeah.
It sounded awful.
No, XXX and chill.
Oh, that one.
That
There
one.
you go.
Yeah, XXX and chill.
Yeah.
I guess Netflix.
Shane Bates, shout out to y'all.
Netflix and chill was
Netflix,
big.
yeah.
No, it's good. I usually run it in all the mix. It's got a bit, I don't know, hot build like that. Just I don't know, it makes it perfect.
Yeah.
I told him that.
He did. He talked me into this too.
Well, nice, man. Do y'all have like any other comps coming up or any events coming up soon? Or
We haven't set a date on one, but
Right.
we
I'm
definitely-
hoping soon.
yeah.
Well, we went too long after our last one. We had our 1 year anniversary, which we had an event then, and then we just recently, a couple months ago, had our 2 year anniversary, and we went a year without having one, which that's unusual. Usually we have. Or just last year just flew by.
I mean, last year we had one thing. It wasn't really widespread talked about or anything between shops or whatnot. But we had like an amateur trick comp that was on Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Halloween, and we went downstairs to the
right.
community center. They let us
That
use
was
their
fun.
space.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We all dressed up. There was costume competitions, and then we had us come down, and I was one of the judges. It was an amateur trick comp, so we were just everybody who thought they could trick were like, "Come on in, see how you do." We had somebody who thought they didn't do good at all come in second place. We were
That's
like,
how we got. That's how we finally helped. Like Austin Oden finally dove into it. He was afraid to do it. We were like, get out there.
Because
Yeah.
with competitions comes a lot of, you wouldn't think it's stage fright. Because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you may not have a lot of people around you, but you have these eyes on you that are like, they know what they've seen. They've seen some crazy stuff.
yeah.
And then you're like, I don't know, what if I can't get this O out? I mean, there's a lot of times where I've gotten up there and I've tried to blow an O out and get a trick, and
And
just
choke.
nothing would come out.
Have you tried to blow an O out and you just blew some chunks out instead?
Yeah.
Just
More like, I've had one comp I did, I got up, I tried to hit, and I went for an O, and I mean, my body shut down for a second because there were so many eyes on me. I just coughed big time. I mean, like, it took me 3, 4, 5 seconds just to go, okay. And then I ended up whipping out some ones and getting to the next round by like the skin of my teeth. I mean,
Nuts, man. Well, do y'all do like so I think have y'all done like sponsoring like of stuff? Like I know Woodiston is doing some stuff. I don't know if y'all are on that or not.
Yeah, Derek wins his next fight.
Yes.
Our name is gonna be on his butt.
Right on the bum.
Yeah,
right
I'll
on
print
the
it.
butt.
I'll print it.
His
dude.
butt
I
is
gotta
mine.
print it. Fall out. Break ball.
That sounded weird.
When I get a steady
Can we-
instrument, he's getting
can we
a spar-
delete
he's
that?
getting a sparring partner, so I'll spar with him whenever
I'm
I
trying to
get
get him up there. I'm trying my hardest.
Which a lot of times, like, talk back to sponsorships, like the local gaming place. I got some guys in here who are, on a team, and they actually have jerseys and stuff.
Honestly.
I'll give them like all free monsters, and they'll put Fallout Vapor on their jerseys or something small like that, or like me and Derek talked about for his sponsorship.
What about Tristan with the fishing? I don't know if it was the.
He was gonna wrap his boat, which we plan on hooking, somebody up with a free vape. That was Derek kind of. He wants us to sponsor him, but he's kind of giving his prize away to somebody. We're gonna help, like sponsor a vapor type thing.
Yeah.
So that's always a good cause.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
So it's really cool that everything, there's so many aspects to it, but all of it is like positive.
Right. Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's up for sure.
And that's what we're about, especially with this podcast. So we're just trying to spread the whole positive message with everything.
Yeah.
It was even before we did our events. You could pick it up by watching events, like on YouTube or whatever. But especially with ours, when we would do ours, like
He just walked away. He's like ghetto rocky about this.
Yeah.
But just everybody will cheer for somebody. It's like everybody gets hyped. And it's just like kind of.
Talking about that, like Simon, we were talking about him. He showed up to an event one time in a full-blown, really, really nice gorilla costume.
And his Instagram tag, his Instagram tag is the vaping Harambe.
Yeah, that's his thing.
That's his thing.
Nice. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. Did he revenge? Did he get revenge? Did he win? Did
he came in third in Cloud.
Yeah, he did. He did.
That's doing justice to Harambe.
I come in first. It was pretty awesome. He took it all off for the event. For his part in the event, we were like, no, dude, keep it on. Keep it on.
He still
going wild.
He still had to take the mask off. Yeah, just to be able to do the stuff where everybody was. It was.
I'm making him a custom one with a mouth cut out.
Yeah, you need to have just like a huge hose that goes to the mouth or something like that. I don't know, man. Don't break character to the commentary.
Don't break character.
Talking about costumes and stuff, and we were just talking about the Halloween thing. Do you remember Rob showed up in his
so cool
steampunk arm thing, and he had done a hose. Where he could take a hit off his vape and blow it, and it would blow out through the thing.
Nice.
That
was cool. Rad.
And there's always been that one that's been circulating on social media, the Thomas the Vape Engine. There's been somebody do a full cardboard cutout of Thomas the Train, and then he'd blow down and it'd come out the little tube
Nice. Oh yeah, man. Well, there it is, dude. Well, I don't know. So you guys are planning on maybe doing some events this year?
Yeah.
Nice.
For sure.
Got an event coming up, don't you?
Yeah.
We don't have a set date for it yet. We're gonna have one.
There's the flyer.
Oh, you're talking about the show, the concert. Yeah.
Oh, right.
That is my dad, my brother, and
That's gonna be
their
fun.
bandmate, and my dad's the one that did all this, like we mentioned before. So he did a show with us last year.
Oh, it was really cool.
Because I
Set up in front of the mural.
Yeah.
Just set up
Not
in front of the
an
mural.
event. Like
a concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it last year, and he's about to do the April 6th. It's the first Friday.
really good music though. What's
They
it
set up and
called?
just do like an hour set, 45 hour set.
What's it called?
What's that?
Your dad's band?
Well, I mean, he goes by Right Reverend John. But,
That's right. Yeah.
Who you got here?
Yeah. Come on here.
Okay, he's like a little bashful
It's the Vaping Brandino.
This is
He's
the other
been watching the shop for us while we're doing this because we are open right now.
Yes.
Is indeed.
Heck yeah.
One of the other, we were talking about the two guys that from the, two of the main guys from the beginning. He's the other one that was always like, can we turn the air off? Can we trick? It's these two.
Those were the good old days when the air actually cut off when we asked. Don't you remember those days?
He's actually sponsored by
Nice.
multiple different vape companies. Stuff, yeah.
Legit.
Not me.
What's your alright, he blew smoke out of his ear, dude. You wanna do a trick? Can you do a trick for us?
Yeah, I'll just do doubles real quick.
Yeah,
do some doubles here. Mine the way.
What? Oh my god!
That's awesome.
That's freaking rad, dude.
Like seeing it in person is way different than seeing it in a video.
And
that is nuts.
And talking about people doing stuff like that, I remember the first day Brandon came in here. and he wanted a trick.
He showed me
and he was the worst trigger.
He was the
I was like, there's no hope for this
He
guy.
couldn't even blow an O right. And then
Like, I'll tell you, he couldn't get an O out. And now,
Started from the bottom.
I mean, hell, they were.
that sounds like a song.
Whenever we first started, back when there wasn't a couch back here or nothing, there wasn't even this TV setup. We used to come back here just for shits and giggles, and me and him and a couple other dudes would play a game called RDA. Is when we were all learning how to trick, so we were all complete ass at it. So we would just like try and get an O. We'd do O through O's was our biggest thing. We do O through O's, and he tried to get a split and happened to get it one day. And was like, wow, I can do more off that. And now look where we are.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, RDA is like horse, you know. That might be the trick, you know.
You don't get it, you get an R. You don't do it again, you get a D, then you get an A,
It's
then
pretty
you're on
much the
your
same
honor.
concept of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. That's freaking awesome, man. Yeah. Well, dude, nice. So, when's this concert that's gonna be here?
April 6th.
6th. I know it's the first Friday of April.
I knew there was a 6 in it.
Nice. Maybe we can come out and get
Somewhere in
some
there.
photos and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really good music, and
It'll just be
quite a few people hanging out.
Just like a 45-minute hour set. Maybe.
Yes.
Be prepared for some tomfoolery, but whenever they're not playing, because the last time they came here and they had their concert, it was around Christmas time, and I had a mistletoe on a stick. I was walking around.
I did a little bit of singing myself,
Yeah.
so I'm a really good singer.
I've heard.
He's like a mixture.
Give us a sample.
Yeah.
Give us a
I
sample.
thought you turned into a unicorn.
Milkshake, bring all the boys to y'all out there like it's better than y'all. That's all you get today.
No more. Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Gucci gang,
I'm
Gucci
glad I wore
gang.
band-aids over my nipples. Because they're that shirt right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want to see more, they gotta pay for.
Yeah. Nice.
$20.
Mm-hmm.
Raising it daily. It's like tickets on Ticketfly. Just keep raising the year of the day.
It's like Bruno Mars concert. It's like $600 by the end of the hour. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
so
it was like vaping career, singing, vaping shows.
it just kind of
But he still has his
fallback.
passion.
Yeah.
He pulls a David Bowie. He gets all dressed up and dolled up and sings for us.
If I come out here and you're not totally lightning bolted out, I'm gonna be like, what happened? I'm gonna be dressed up like a corn dog and a hot dog. What happened?
You know, that's one thing. I'm not very like artistic. Like, there's no. My whole family like can't sing, can't draw, nothing. Like,
Playing the hell out of some basketball though.
yeah, we're kind of athletic.
Yeah.
Kind. That's about it. You know, like he's got a very artistic family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just
Right. Yeah.
I'm just sucky wherever you put me.
Dun, dun,
I'm not really good at athletics, but I'm not too good at art.
But
He's got a good
he can blow a
personality.
vape out his ear.
Yeah.
That is it.
That's all you need.
That's pretty legit.
That's all I need to get by in life, right?
That's all you really
Yeah.
need.
It's gonna get you far.
That's what I like to tell people about tricking. It's like it's a completely useless skill, but damn, it's fun to look at, ain't it?
Yeah. Dude, that's nice, man.
You want to hear a funny story? Oh, we gotta tell one funny
Is it about
story.
Yeah, yes.
I've only ever kicked one person out of the shop. Ever.
In 2+ years.
Yeah, I've never even come close. So,
You'd be surprised who it is.
so one day I remember talking about like the air situation. I'm getting real busy and I was getting a little frustrated and I realized the air was off and I was like, who turned off the air? And Vincent was like, you told me I couldn't. I was like, well, turn it on. So me and Vincent got in an argument. I remember looking at Vincent. I was like, please stop getting on my nerves or I'm gonna have to make you leave, Vincent. And I was like, then I said, Vincent, if you say one more thing, I'm gonna make you leave. And he kept going.
Oh, God.
Well, he kind of stopped for a second. Then he said something else like later on. I was like, Vincent, that's it, man. Just come back later. Just come back.
No, it didn't go down like that. You said, get out. That's how it went. And I was
Yeah.
like, fine,
Kinda.
I won't come back.
Oh, he was back the next day and we hugged it out.
Get in your room. Was there like
Everybody
a montage
knew.
moment? Like,
Yeah.
crying and like slowly walking.
Kind of like Key and Peele. Have you seen Key and Peele?
Yeah, it's like freaking love that
Noise,
show.
you know, like at the end of that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like noise.
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 Did you see the one where he's like, you got a little schmitz on your shirt, and then he just kept.
No. What's that over there? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like he's at his gravesite, and he's like, I really did have some schmitz on my shirt, and then a hand comes out of the grave, and it's like, just gets him in the nose.
I haven't seen their new skits. I gotta go.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
I'm more prepared for
Are they
Tosh
still
Point
doing
to
stuff?
come back out for another season.
Is he? I
Yes,
heard
he
he's
is.
doing like a.
Tosh
like,
Point is coming out with a brand new rebooted season, and he is
dun, dun.
can't wait.
Tosh. I heard he was doing like a lot of like internet stuff.
Don't even talk about Tosh like that.
Tosh is trash compared to Key and Peele.
Go on the ground.
I said, yeah, I love that one.
And then I said,
they got so many good things, dude. Key and Peele, like, did you ever watch, is it
Heavens for Pussy?
Did you ever see the one where it's like, you ever seen lightning in a bottle? He's like, what was it? Oh, that's the cat's pajamas. And he just keeps on saying all that stuff. He's really got like a cat wearing pajamas.
Have you seen that? Those must be his newer ones.
It's so funny.
Like, dude. The newest one I saw was the
baby one.
I'm from the Dominican Republic. All I know since I was a little boy is to catch fly balls and to slap ass.
Slap ass.
He has a problem just smacking all the baseball players' asses. Yeah.
I just have a thing for talking about those viewer videos. Best things on earth, especially the guy that was like, I'm going on a week-long corn diet, guys, and he sits down in the toilet and he gets up, no wiper, and there's just a cob of corn in there when he zooms in. It was the best thing I'd ever seen in my life. That or the coffee cup, he's like, Joel, did you spit in this? No, and then puts it over and makes him spit in his cup because he's the boss.
Yeah,
and then drinks.
He can be a little much sometimes, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Takes it too
I
far.
wonder if he vapes.
He does.
He does? He
Yes,
vapes?
he does.
Cool. Famous actors who vape. Who
Leonardo DiCaprio.
There was that guy that we follow on Instagram.
Yeah, Leonardo.
The guy that runs the shop up in Canada, and Dave Grohl came in there.
Dave Grohl?
Yeah.
I've seen a picture of Matthew McConaughey with one.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, the guy who was just in here, he works at a shop part-time in Atlanta, and he said he's seen quite a few famous rappers come in there who all...
T-Pain?
No, it was someone
He would be
that
in
big, though. It was someone huge. I forgot. Hey, Brandon!
Hey, yo, Brandino!
He's probably got
No,
it.
he's
Yes,
not.
sir. Who was the famous rapper who came into the vape store with you one time?
Gorilla Zoe.
Gorilla Zoe, that's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I could rap, too. Just like
You got any rap you want to bust out?
You should hear a single both knows.
I heard this singing. It was pretty
10
good.
out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude. Well,
more questions.
Yes, I've got one more for you.
Yes.
Okay. The CBD oil and stuff like that. Do you guys do that? You can donate?
I condone it.
Yeah.
We don't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know. I've always thought, we're here to help people quit smoking.
Yeah.
So CBD is more medical purposes. Like people come in who have headaches or stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'll go see a doctor about that. More or less, but maybe someday, like we've looked into, I know he knows a lot more about CBD than me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like you said, we're a franchise. Like if the franchise ever decides to carry, we'll dig into it. And
Yeah.
really figure it out.
There you go. I know. In Colorado, so do they have like vape THC stuff?
Yeah.
Is that
Funny
something?
you say that. Like one of the big myths in vaping too is that you can get pneumonia from vaping.
Pneumonia?
Right.
Oh, because
Water in your lungs.
Yeah.
Right. But really, you get pneumonia from oil-based liquids, which THC oil that you vape in a pen that you can get in Colorado.
Yeah.
If some of that gets on your lungs, it could potentially cause pneumonia. So, if you hit it, you want to hit it to the side so that, say, if any juice comes out, it pops, it gets in your mouth instead of on your lung. Which this vape juice that contains nicotine is not oil-based.
Yeah, this is water-based stuff.
Right.
So that's not the risk.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't know the difference with that.
Right.
And yeah, it's pneumonia obscura. And actually, I remember when we were reading about it. Sometimes like senior citizens can get it too because of their arthritis medicine. But it's if it's oil-based and you inhale a droplet, it can like hit the cilia in your lung and slide up against the wall, and you might get a bacterial infection.
Yeah.
That's what happens with that.
I get asked that a lot,
Yeah.
because this causes pneumonia.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to give them the spill. It's like, this is not an oil-based liquid. Sometimes they don't get it. I'm like, it's not THC. Yeah.
Nice.
I love Jason so
But
much. He's such a
I feel like
I
I feel like CBD gets abused a little bit. Like
That's part of our concern. Yeah.
right, like all these younger guys, they think that you're getting high off of it or whatever.
No, I think they're just misinformed. Probably.
Right, I don't know.
I mean, the entire country is basically misinformed in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I got a teacher.
Because of the media.
Yeah. We have a teacher who comes in here. She's a special needs teacher, and she said that almost all of her kids use CBD, but what's it called, bilingual? Is that when you use it in your mouth?
Sublingual.
Sublingual, that's right. Sublingual.
Yeah, that's what I do actually.
So you just do it under your tongue, and it helps a lot of the special needs kids in certain ways.
For focus and
So I've had a big conversation
with things like that. Yeah.
It helps chill me out. Like I've got really bad panic attacks a lot of the time. So I used to just do like a drop or two under my tongue, and I think you did some, didn't you? You did a whole drop or two. It tastes like tar, and I'm like 2 or 3 drops, and I'm like, all right, I'm calming down a little bit. It doesn't get you high by any means. It just chills you out. If you did the whole freaking dropper, dude, probably like $20 worth of CBD oil, just like, I was like, and it probably had to taste like death.
That sounds like Derek. Everything he does, he goes overboard.
Yeah, he goes
overboard with it.
I'm not a CBD.
Talking about Derek, he's got a fight coming up April 21st, VFW. We're getting a whole table. We're gonna be there.
Yes,
It's gonna be fun.
Root him on.
Yeah.
These guys are commentating the event.
Oh, are they really? That's awesome.
Sitting there commentating, randomly saying.
A nice jab by Derek. Oh, he got punched.
If Derek
punched back,
gloves,
Derek,
do not touch gloves.
Never again.
Just go.
See, I never did. But I've never touched gloves. Like that was my thing. Like, dude, I went against my better judgment. One time, I paid for it. I paid.
Dearly. We all going to for sure too?
Yeah, we will be there. The thing is, though, I've never seen like someone who I know UFC fight.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna be up there. I'm gonna start like getting mad. Like for instance, when I was a little kid, I used to wrestle, be on a wrestling team, and I'm like 7 or 8, and my mom's videotaping it. We still got this on video.
Oh God.
And this little. We're kids out here wrestling, right? And this kid grabs my ears and he keeps pulling on it. Which you can't do that.
Yeah.
And my mom calls this kid a little prick. Like screams it as loud as you can on camera.
Yeah.
So we still have the video. Like I feel like I'm gonna be that guy up there, like getting mad.
Yeah.
Like why? Like after the fight, if Derek loses, I'm gonna go down there and be like, why'd you do that to him?
Leave Derek alone.
Please, Derek.
That's my friend.
My mom is awful. My corner man one time, I was losing, and she runs over my corner man and grabs him by the shirt and pulls him back. What are you doing? Like, I'm not in there. What can I do?
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my God.
grabbed him. Nick's like 230 pounds, 6 foot
Throw him around like
3.
a little rag doll.
Yeah, she just grabs him. What are you doing?
And like you said, you told me before, like your mom's one of the sweetest.
Yeah, she is. She's
Right.
She's
She was when it comes to her baby though.
Yeah,
She's in here earlier.
She is a mean lady.
Yeah.
She has to be.
Yeah.
Besides that, she's just a godsend.
My mom's got
I tried to take some before and the lighting was whatever.
Yeah. Well, man, so we always like to end it with a positive note. So what do you guys got if you had to tell somebody that's either like looking at quitting smoking or something like that?
Or just anything in general.
Yeah.
Come see us.
Yeah.
And that's what we do is, and like we've already told you, like just how satisfying it is to help somebody start down that path. And that's why we tell them come see us. Like if you get caught up on something, if something's not working or whatever. That's very cool. That's my favorite part of this.
Yeah.
Mention this podcast, we'll give you 10% off.
There you go.
There it is, man.
Yeah.
Set in stone. He said it. I gotta buy it.
I've got enough 10% off in here. I didn't know I was getting.
You can have his 10% off.
Nice.
And I raked in like how many? I didn't even know about them.
Yeah. There's been multiple times where Derek's been wrong. It's like, did I have a 10% off? Because we do a rewards program here.
That's cool.
Every time you spend $30 or more, you get a star. Once you get 10, you get a 10% off coupon.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've said that exact thing in my life. I have to explain the rewards
Every
thing
time.
to myself.
Yeah.
At least 14 times this week alone, I think.
I filled up 10 stars 7 times.
Yeah. That
Good
should be time.
God, sir.
If you're good at math, you know how much money he spent. Too much.
I remember when you started 20.
There went a week in here where it was like, Derek, I'm not letting you buy anything this week. It's like, no.
I pulled it out.
I would. I'd be like, I just want tip. I just want drip tip.
Yeah, he just wants a drip tip. I remember that day. He come in and he was looking at everything. He said, "All right, Spencer, can I at least buy that? And he bought a drip tip.
Nicely done.
Which are drip tips here, not cheap drip tips. They're $15, but they have lifetime warranties. So if it ever cracks or breaks, the company sends Half Moon mods.
Yeah, what's the drip tip look like? Like, what is
well, I actually don't have one.
I got.
Is that no? Yeah, none of us have one of those right now.
Not right now. Any other time you would ask us, we would have one.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on here, man.
No, it was a blast.
Thank you.
Yes. And Chris.
Oh yeah. Everybody gets a handshake.
I have to be so freaking bad. Clinton, freaking But come check him out, guys.
Follow the papers.
I'm just smiling at the camera. I try to do like Oh, have you ever seen what's the movie with the actors, the models?
I'm just assuming here. No, freaking I know what you're talking about. Zoolander.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I'm about to do the look.
All right, let's all do blue still.
The camera at the same time. Everyone look away and then fierce bad.
You do Magnum and you do blue still.
What's blue still?
I think they're all the same.
Okay.
Blue still.
What is
the Blue still is
that look. We gotta do it. That's a positive note.
Yeah.
We're all gonna do it. Count it down.
What am I doing?
Wait.
You're just gonna go like
Alright.
to the camera. Okay.
Alright.
What am I doing?
1, 2, 3.
Did it break? I've stopped a throwing star before.